Welcome into Arsenal Report, and the Benjamin Sesko saga continues even once Arsenal are no longer in the race. And the thing we've learned from this is that Andrea Berta is a smart man, because in prior years, Arsenal would be still battling it out, still trying to find a price, still bargaining with the agent, with the club, then not getting the player, and then their number two option already being gone, and then being stuck in a bad situation. Instead, they met with their number one target. They figured out that this agent was going to hold this ransom, and they went out and got their number two target. And you know what? Number two target had 50 goals last year in all competitions. So that's not such a bad number two target. I'm excited to see him play for the first time at the Emirates, in the Emirates Cup coming up. And then, of course, he'll be in for preseason. He's been in for preseason, and he'll be in for the rest and the beginning of the Premier League season. Whereas Benjamin Sesko, he might go to United. He might go to Newcastle. Both clubs have bid 85 million euros. It looks like that's not enough. It looks like it really is going to go for 90 million euros. Like when we saw that price tag come out 3 weeks ago, I feel like nobody really believed it, but both clubs have bid 85 million euros. This is a very unproven talent, Benjamin Sesko. Not that Gyökeres is Premier League proven, but he at least has 50 goals on his resume from last year alone. Like, if there's one thing Gyökeres we know can do, it's score loads of goals. And now Sesko, he's an awesome profile. The athleticism, the ability to go vertical, the ball striking, it's all there. But that doesn't mean he can put it all together to be an consistent and confident goal scorer in the Premier League. That doesn't mean that he's going to come into Manchester United or Newcastle and change the way that they play and score goals. Like, he's still going to need an adjustment period. He's a bit of a project signing. And when you're talking about 90 million euros, I want to get the final product. And those clubs are not getting a final product for 90 million euros. So Andrea Berta, he's really just done an unbelievable job to change the way that we do business. Like, yes, we still have some work to do, but what we've done up to this point, if we had Edu still at the club, I feel like everyone would be thrilled with Edu at this point, but they expect so much from Berta because of what they were told about him coming in. But he has changed the way that Arsenal operate. And hopefully he's changed the way that our left-hand side operates, especially if we do get Eze in, because it does look like Eze's coming in as a number 10. We've talked about that. We've seen the reports. We've watched Eze play. He's a central player. And then it's like, okay, so did we really spend 50 million pounds on Madueke for him to not start? Probably not. I mean, we have yet to see Madueke. Obviously, he played in the Club World Cup, so he then got a break. Hopefully, he'll be involved in the Emirates Cup in some way, but he shouldn't need too much transition time, obviously, having come from Chelsea. He played in the Premier League last year and the year prior. But it looks like Eze and Madueke are going to be that left-hand side for us and theoretically change the way that we play. I feel like the biggest issue we've had with the left-hand side is not necessarily ball retention or anything, but no creation has come from that side. Eze and Madueke are both top 5 in the Premier League last year in terms of attack creation. So that's shots plus chances created together as a stat. If we get in Eze, Madueke, and Saka make up 3 of the top 5. And 2 of those top 5 will be on our left-hand side. So there's no doubt that shot creation, chance creation, and overall attacking output will increase from the left-hand side just from a pure number standpoint. And that alone should really change the way our left-hand side plays. Now, you add in the fact that Jurriën Timber looks like he's going to play quite a bit of left back. As you see, we're going to talk about Ricardo Calafiori at the end of this episode. But with Calafiori's potential injury, just always being injured, with Ben White looking like he's back to full fitness and knowing the combination play he has with Saka on the right-hand side, it seems like we're going to see a little Timber on that left-hand side. And I think the 3 of them on that left-hand side could really, really change the dynamics and hopefully change the way we play. And again, I'll mention the fact that Trossard getting injured has changed the way that the rest of this window is going to go, because I do think he was going to be sold and potentially raise a little bit more funds, but the Rodrigo deal looks really complicated right now. And Martinelli, although he is not for sale, I don't think he really is, but I don't know that anyone's getting that 70 million pound price that Arsenal are looking for, 70 million euros actually, that they're looking for Martinelli. So it does look like Madueke is going to basically be our number 1 left winger, him and Martinelli alternating, and hopefully Eze coming in as kind of that left-sided 10 to change the dynamics on that side, because it's been a big issue over the last couple of years. But there's also, some slight murmurings of Kenan Yildiz from Juventus coming in on that left-hand side. He really reminds me of Trossard in the way he plays, and he could fit that role perfectly should Trossard leave this summer or next summer, just as more of a goal scorer from tough positions, right? Like, I don't think Yildiz is your touchline winger who's going to dominate, but he can kind of play more as a second striker, can get on the end of loose balls on the edges of the box, kind of strike cleanly with both feet, scores really nice goals into the corner of the net, just kind of a overachiever in terms of XG, which when we do lose Trossard, we're going to miss our biggest overachiever in XG. Like, that's just a fact. So we will need to replace that, and somehow you need some inevitability or some kind of creative goal scoring in your team. Someone who can score without it being, passing it into the net. And Kenan Yildiz is exactly the kind of profile who could do that. And should Trossard, be fit enough to be sold this summer and Yildiz come onto the market again, I mean, we know Juventus always needs to kind of bring in a little bit more cash. I'd be really interested in continuing to look at this player and maybe in the January window, if not, because he's, to me, one of the best young attackers who doesn't get the recognition of like a Barcola, but definitely has a very high ceiling and a very low risk to me where his wages and age are at this moment. And finally, Ricardo Calafiori, as I mentioned, still not back in training. Arteta did say he's not worried about Calafiori. He should be ready for the start of the year. We still do have 12 days till the first match of the season, but still not back in training. Last season, he played under 1,500 minutes. That's the least he's played. I mean, we've talked about his injury issues, and everyone says he's had injury issues. But if you look at his last 2 years before that at Bologna, he played like 2,600 and 2,800 minutes. It's not a ton, but it's double 1,500. I mean, Calafiori played 1,497 minutes last year. That's basically what Ethan Nwaneri played. And we spent a good amount of money on Calafiori. And also, we needed a left back. Like, Miles Lewis-Skelly had to play left back because of Calafiori. Well, he wasn't benched by anybody. So, it's starting to get a little concerning with Calafiori. You hope, he gets past this injury and he has a healthy year, and it's possible. Like, he is a bit injury prone, but he's not to the level where he's missing, loads of matches in his career. He made 30 appearances the year before he came to Arsenal. I think he made 33 the year before that, or even more, maybe 35. Last year, of course, he made like 28 appearances, but only 1,500 minutes. So he was really not very fit. He wasn't getting a lot of starts. And so that's a bit of a worry for us. And should he not be fully fit this year, I wouldn't be surprised to see him go on the market next summer and us try and replace him with both a left center back who can kind of be Gabriel's understudy and potentially an overlapping left back. That profile we've talked about quite a bit here on Arsenal Report. So make sure you're subscribed to the channel right down there. Daily updates on Arsenal, the transfer window, and everything in between. And we'll be back tomorrow.